If Texas was a Caribbean island, what kind of food would come out of it? And that's kind of what we cook here. Our philosophy is to treat each ingredient with as much respect as possible. So we think about the final product days before it's actually done. The job of a chef de cuisine is to operate the kitchen. I take on a lot of large projects. My main job is to train, to teach, and to inspire, coming up with new dishes, make sure I progress the menu in a creative direction. Hi guys, my name is Harvard Aninye. I'm the CDC here at Canje in Austin, Texas, and this Texas heat is real. So let's get back inside before it gets too hot. We've been open for about a year and a half. We are a modern Caribbean restaurant, so we are authentic. We are in no way traditional. We'll serve the food that your grandmother would make if she lived in Texas. So it's 10 a.m. I gotta get in there, check the prep list, check how many people we got coming in today. Follow me. So this is our prep list. As chef de cuisine, it's my job to kind of make sure we're all on task on a day-to-day basis. So right after service, I kind of go throughout the line and ask them what they need. They tell me, we'll write down a morning prep list and make sure that everyone else is kind of making it ready for them at night. Here we have a little couple of items that tell you how many of each to do, which allows me to track food costs a little bit better. So these dots mean these projects have already been started. Here at the very bottom, I gave myself a couple of tasks here. We got a whole wild boar in today. I wanna make sure that's cut and ready to go for pepper pot. Next thing I'm gonna do is look at the books to see what we have ready to go for today and see who we have coming in. It kind of gives us a base schedule for the entire day. So it tells me who's coming in, at what time, what they need, and any dietary restrictions. So it gives us a chance to prep. Right now, looking pretty busy. We have 176 people coming in, which is kind of a classic day at Canje. Any party over 8 people, we have a special menu for that. And it's kind of my job to set that menu. That's coming in right at 7 o'clock. All right, I gotta get that board started because it's a lot of work. One of our most labor-intensive projects. Follow me. All right. This is an 83-pound boar. Just came in today. All of the moisture here means it hasn't been frozen. Wild boar pepper pot is what we use this for. Pepper pot is the national dish of Guyana. A combination of this cassoulet, which is a very special ingredient, black cassava root that's juiced and reduced down with warming spices. So you have things like orange, cinnamon, allspice, a lot of thyme, and a little habanero. I like to say that pepper pot is a little bit like Caribbean mole. It's beautiful. This braise is about a 6-hour braise, as low and slow as possible. So this is my Dexter butcher kit. Got a little bone saw, got an axe here, and it actually says Dexter right there. So you know, it's gonna get bloody here in a second. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is kind of make this thing a little smaller. Coming up the leg here, you see the hip bone right here. I'm gonna cut right on this side of the hip bone, cut all the way down to the actual bone itself. Release this belly, and then I get to grab my bone saw. So basically saw through the bone and cut through the rest of the meat itself. You never want to saw through meat because it rips and tears the flesh. Reason why we're getting wild boars is because they're actually a problem down here. It's a pest, honestly. And when these boars come in, we are doing our part to help Texas farms grow better. When we first opened, we were talking to one of our farmers. He asked if we can use a boar. We said yes. They have actually trapped them for us right outside of the Grange, send them here once a week, and that's kind of how we sustain our pepper pot. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is take these shoulders off. So basically, you kind of lift this guy up and chop right under the armpits here. And take it right off the edge. If you have a sharp knife, it really doesn't take very much actual effort. And you get the seams here, you kind of crack it open, and you can hear it. If you hear that sound, you know you're doing a good job. You're right through the seam. Breaking down boars specifically, breaking down whole animals, takes a lot of practice. And we only get one of these. So if this is kind of messed up, there's not really much we can do, right? So it's one of those things where as a CDC, because I have the most experience in the kitchen, I'll break this down to make sure it's done correctly. There is no in-house butcher. I am the in-house butcher. And it's kind of my retirement plan. One of these days I want to open up a butcher shop, chill, and make a lot of charcuteries. So you can tell this is a little bit of an older boar. The texture of the meat is more firm the younger they are. So if you kind of feel this, you can see that it's a little bit older because it gives a lot, which is nice because it's gonna be less tough. Next, I'm gonna go for the belly area. If you look right here, that is where you get the back strap or tenderloin. My goal is to cut all of this off in one go. And you can see this here is a really nice color. This guy was running around a lot, active boar. This is all food costs, right? So anything I leave on these bones doesn't go into the plates, doesn't go in our wallets, does not go into our bank accounts, which is not great. So no meat on the bones means I'm doing a good job. There's the belly there. So other side of the back strap here, taking that off. Different game meats will taste different based on where they are in the country. The wild boar here eats a lot of sage, eats a lot of pecans, eats a lot of like weird Texas ingredients. So you get those flavors as you're eating this boar. This is the fun part. There you go. That's one rib cage right there. The first couple of times I did this, I was so bad at it, it was embarrassing. So with all of these ribs, we'll roast them. We'll make a stock out of this, and we'll use that stock to braise the pepper pot in. There you go. The hard work is over. It's about 11 o'clock now, and I gotta get started on some coconuts. So this is where we keep all of our tools. This is my drawer at the very bottom. Grab my suitcase, grab some coconuts, and ready to work. All right, you walk in with a briefcase, people remember you. So I got my knives, I got my aprons, got a little picture of me right here from when I was in culinary school to remind me where I came from. Now it's time to crack some coconuts. Everyone has their own way of cracking coconuts. I use a knife. The knife scares people a lot of times. I'll use this guy, it's less sharp. And really the only way to do it is by hitting it as hard as you can in a certain amount of angles. There you go. That's one. So coconut milk is made in Canje probably every other day, but today we're making curry, we're making callaloo. Callaloo is kind of like a braised green dish. Right now we're using Swiss chard and spinach, a little coconut milk and mustard. So we're gonna need a good amount of coconut milk. We go through maybe 20 quarts every 2 or 3 days. It's a very different flavor than store-bought coconut milk. It's fresh, it's light, it's not as heavy, and it doesn't add so much like sweetness to your food without you wanting it. You can tell when a coconut is ready to go and nice and fresh by how dense and heavy it is. That's close. Well, I would say 20 coconuts will get us about 20 quarts of coconut milk. We use coconut milk in a lot of different dishes here. So we'll use the shell. We'll light that on fire and use it as like charcoal. We'll smoke with the shell also. The coconut flesh itself, we use it in a sweet potato dish. I'll strain this out and we'll use this as coconut water. If you're thirsty, it's a great way to start your day. The next thing I'm gonna do is literally shuck these coconuts. So I'm gonna take this oyster shucker and we're gonna peel all the flesh from the inside of this coconut out. But the whole point is to go around the entire outside, get the coconut out in one go. This I'm gonna add some water to and we'll turn it into coconut milk. So I am Nigerian by birth. My dad is from Lagos, Nigeria. I was raised in San Antonio, so I would say that I'm first generation African American, which for me is a really cool perspective. So my dad cooked a lot with coconuts. It wasn't ever fresh coconuts. This is the first place that I've actually used fresh coconut in as often as I have. So one more coconut should just about do it for the next couple of days. There we go. So all of this stuff here, we'll burn this today. Right now, I'm basically just getting a weight on the coconut flesh itself, and we'll go 2 parts water to 1 part coconut. The hot water will extract more fat out of it, which gives us more of a creamy kind of texture. So I'll let this steep for a little while. We'll basically come back to it in about 15, 20 minutes. We'll blend it and strain it out. Right now it's almost noon. The kitchen is in full swing. My sous chef, Steph, is over here. She's making some rotis for us. We sell about 120 rotis a day. We got Blanca back over there peeling some shrimp. She's really, really, really fast at that. The biggest blender in the entire world. This thing's like 25 pounds. You can look at the actual flesh itself and see that it's more translucent than it was before. That means that the hot water is kind of doing its job. Add a little bit of the water itself, almost equal parts there, and blend it. So as the coconut flesh breaks up, the fat from inside of the coconut releases and it emulsifies with the water, and that's kind of what makes it milky. When you run your finger across it, it kind of holds its stripe there, and that's when you can kind of tell the texture is where you want it to be. So I'm gonna press out all of the excess water and moisture. So an extra 1.5 cups per batch turns into a quart here and there. Do that 3 times a week, that's a gallon. A gallon is a lot of money. So that's my job, to make sure we're making money here. All right, it is 1 p.m. I'm gonna clean up here a little bit, check in with the team, and get started on that Wagyu beef curry. That's my whole job. I just walk around freaking out, making everyone stressed, just checking in, making sure everyone's doing good. Okay. I love our prep team. They make my job so much easier. This is all the stuff that will very soon be our Wagyu beef curry. Savell Bristol, the chef owner of this place, made this together with us, but this is all soul, it's all taste. Because it's so hard to translate this in a style and a recipe, I like to make this to make sure that it's correct. And we always taste it as a team. Onions go in. And we'll cook these down until they get a little bit of color on that. Cebolla, onions in Spanish. Blanca helps me with my Spanish every now and then. ¿Sí, Blanca? ¿Mi español mucho bueno o no? Yeah, más y menos, no mucho bueno, yeah. So we got a little color on these onions. That's what we're looking for. Next, I'm gonna add to that some tomato. Tomato gives it a nice color, a nice roundness, and a little sweetness as well. So, we have some scallion or green onion in here, a little garlic and ginger. I don't think that there's ever such thing as too much garlic, so I'm gonna add this whole thing, you know? So any recipe you see garlic in, just double it. So the curry that we're doing is kind of an African meets Indian style curry. The word curry just means sauce. So we're kind of reaching into the Afro-Caribbean side of the islands while we're doing this. So this is our house curry spice blend. Some toasted turmerics. There's a good amount of cumin in here, a lot of curry leaves, and fenugreek. So you get a lot of sweetness in this curry powder. You get a lot of depth. We're basically coating all of the vegetables with this curry powder and kind of cooking that for a while until the moisture comes out of the vegetables themselves. I can't tell you how much in ounces or cups or grams that was, but I can tell by looking at this that that was correct. One of the coolest things about working in this restaurant is when I walk in, it kind of smells like I grew up. We are not shy with the aromatics here at all. This time, I'll use it in a lot of different ways. So I'll take this and I'll pluck some of it in here so it dissolves as it cooks for a really long time. This basically just bundle of time I'll add to the end of it so it can steep. I'm gonna add a little fruit stock. Fruit makes me think about the Caribbean. We actually are making some more fruit stock right here. So basically any of the fruit scrap, any of the pieces, the peels, the tops, the bottoms, we'll add to here. We'll cook that until all of this flavor and color extracts. And we'll use that just as we would chicken stock. It's a way to add flavor and you're not just watering down your dishes. Next, this is a really nice chicken stock here. That's gonna give a lot of body, a lot of texture to this curry. I'm gonna add some mango cores to the actual stock itself. Mangoes are a little bit acidic, a little sweet. So again, we're adding a lot of sweetness to this dish without any sugar. I'll have to fish those out later. How many was that? Was that 4? I did 4. So make sure I get 4 out later when y'all see that. So one of our secret ingredients, one of the things that I love about this curry, we add jerk drippings. So basically every time we cook the chicken, there's all these drippings and juices that come off of it. We save those. This gives it depth, this gives it fat. So I'm gonna add some of that. So last but not least, we're gonna add pineapple aminos. It's full of just umami. This is kind of an answer to fish sauce. So the beef is cooked separately. We'll add that to order, add the potatoes, and then all of that will cook together for service so that we have it ready to go. It's 2 o'clock. I gotta get started on some R&D. There's a couple of things that we're gonna change the menu with, and one of my jobs is kind of make sure I progress the menu in a creative direction. So that's what I'm gonna get started on right now. All right. I'm gonna be working on this dish called akara. It's a Haitian dish. It's a dumpling made out of raw malanga or taro root, a piece which is kind of like the Haitian version of sofrito. This is malanga. This is a starch that's found in the Caribbean. It's similar to a potato, a little starchier and more chalky. So I made a couple of versions of this already. The last version we made just didn't have the texture that we wanted it. It was a little too gummy. So I'm gonna try to see if we can remedy that a little bit. I think I'm gonna try to get rid of that by rinsing off all the starch for a while before making it into the fritter. Our partners and a corporate chef all kind of get together on a weekly to monthly basis, and we'll all talk about what dishes we want to do for the next season. Actually, all of them are coming in tonight. We'll taste a couple of these dishes together. We'll see if we like them. If we do like them, they'll be on the menu very soon. If not, we'll keep working. All right, so this is all cut now. I'm gonna go rinse this for a little bit. So this cloudy water tells you that there's a lot of starch in here. If you remove the starch, then you remove the ability for it to kind of like retain that glutinous texture. That glutinous texture is where you get gummy, kind of chewy foods. I think it's gonna work. That's gonna be enough. I'm gonna just add this to the RoboCube and buzz this up with the Haitian Appétit. So this is just a base of thyme, habanero, some parsley, a little bit of fennel. We don't have a recipe for this yet. That's why the R&D portion of this is important. And then I'll train someone else on how to do it after I'm done figuring it out myself, so. The salt that I'm adding now is just really for texture. It's an abrasive, so it'll help break up this taro a little bit. Honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of the job. A lot of being a chef de cuisine is really all about function and like paperwork and making money and making sure the place is doing well. This is the part where we actually dream about doing, like where we're creating dishes. And we are there. So this is a little bit wet to the touch. If you fry something and it's too wet, it'll kind of explode because the water that's inside of it will escape too quickly. So adding a little cornstarch to it will stop the water activity fast enough for it to fry and brown. I think for a batch this size, I'll use 2 eggs. The egg will help bind as well. You can feel the differences in what you're making over a period of time. The first time I made this, I messed up because it was a little too wet. Second time I made this, I messed up because it was a little too starchy. And now I feel like we have a good balance of moisture and starch. That's the texture that we want. And I'm gonna add to this some salted fish. We use whatever fish we have available. This is basically all the trim, all the pieces, like the belly pieces that are too thin to sear. And we'll salt this, cure it, and use it in a bunch of different stuff.
What's good?
How are you, Chef?
I'm good. How are you? Good to see you.
So this is Tavel, Crystal Joseph, the man, the myth, the legend.
What are we working on, dude?
So this is that's the piece I was telling you about, the Accra.
Dude, I'm excited to try this stuff,
What time
man.
are you coming in?
Around 9:30 or so.
9:30?
We're gonna have all the partners in. So with this dish, I want something that when I bite into it, it takes me to Haiti. That's what I'm looking for. My other partners, they're gonna look at how does it look. So we all kind of play our roles in different ways. And then also the flavor, if it ain't there, it ain't there. A good dish could taste good, but it's great when it has a story. All right?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, later, Chef.
See you. Yeah, y'all have a good one.
Yeah. He hates when we clap for him, so we do it literally every single time we see him. So we're gonna drop this in the fryer. I'm gonna drop a couple of them so I can taste one, some other chefs can taste one, and we'll talk about it from there. All right, so those are gonna fry for about 2 minutes. Nice golden brown, delicious. Turn them out on here. Let's taste these. Yeah, so it keeps its green hue. You can see the salt fish in there as well, which is really nice. I feel like this is gonna be the best iteration that we have. Slightly spicy, not gummy, really crispy. I'm happy with it. Every single time we do a dish, we try to taste it with everyone because the more opinions, the better. You like it?
I didn't expect all the lime to be there.
Do you get any spice in that?
No.
No spice? So you want more heat?
I want
Can I taste one?
a little bit.
I think this will be ready for our tasting at 9 o'clock. We're gonna serve it with some spicy pickles. We think it needs a little bit more acid as a whole dish. It's 2:30-ish right now, so I gotta start cleaning this up. We are about to have our meeting with all the back of house chefs just to see what we have left to do today. We have a lot of specials that happen here and there, but I'll make sure we're tasting all of that before we get to service, and I'll kind of be the last person to, okay, yes, this is going on, or no, that's not gonna be good enough today. What's up?
Hi.
How's it going?
I've got some hot corn milk for you today.
Hot corn milk. All right, so how, are we gonna be able to eat this today?
So I'm trying to make it more corny, and it's not as corny, so I'm gonna add a lot more corn to it, and I think we're gonna have something to taste tonight.
Say
This
corny one more time.
I did the same corny situation.
This tastes more grilled than corn, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if you juice it and add a little sweetness, I think it'll be fine. Cool, sounds good. So in a second, my manager is gonna come in and we'll talk about the menu for the day. So if we're low on a certain menu item or anything like that, I'll let that person know then. So we're gonna turn that choka into a corn and sweet potato choka today.
And just to confirm, with the 10 top, tile and pepper pot.
We'll go tile and pepper pot for that 10 top. All right, should we happy salmon? So Blake, let's do the numbers.
We have about 60 covers from 5 to 6. Big push at 6:30.
Orange broth is on Tyson's list. He's gonna work that. He'll juice it and pass it on to you to season. You should have about 3 quarts to start.
Yo, Debbie, my family's great.
All right, so this curry's been going for about 3 or 4 hours. We're gonna add a little coconut milk, some fresh thyme, and then let that go for another maybe 30 minutes to an hour. I think we're on track for service. What do you guys think? Are we ready here? Yeah. I'm gonna check in on family meal. It's about 3:40. We should have family meal up in about 20 minutes. So you got a salad coming?
Yeah, salad's ready. I'm just working on the vinaigrette.
Working on the vinaigrette. Okay, Mari, pasta.
Pasta's ready.
Do you need anything from me at all?
I got nudes and I got pesto.
Nudes and pesto. All right, so it's all vegetarian today. Cool, 20 minutes?
Yes.
All right, guys, 20 minutes.
Can I have your milk?
I want a little bit more spice. This is the time that I'll kind of go around, check into the team, make sure we're all in good shape. Any concerns that happen right now, we'll fix before service. So it's kind of final checks right now. All right, so it is 4 o'clock. We need to break down this whole kitchen. Takes us about 8 minutes to scrub, sweep, mop, take out all the trash, and then it's service time. One of the reasons why we clean before service, we want to reset the kitchen, start fresh, set up our tables, and we're going into a brand new part of our day. So the prep side is over, now it's showtime. It's exactly 4:08, family meal is up, and it's time for everyone to go eat. I told you, 8 minutes on the dot, every time. So while everyone else eats family meal, they leave the kitchen. I get my own peace and quiet for once, and then I get to set up my station while they're all out there eating. This is my ticket rail. So basically, this top area here is where all the first courses will be. This bottom area is where I'll drop it when we start the second courses or entrees. So tonight I will be working Expo. It's the communication between the kitchen and the dining room. I'll handle any kind of dietary restrictions or allergies. We'll send food out to make sure everyone is getting food in a timely manner and they're getting the right food at the right table. All right, it's 4:30. Now it's my turn to go eat. I'm gonna get some food, I'm gonna go change, and I'll get ready for service. This is honestly one of my favorite parts of my job. My grandmother started off in the service industry. My mom was in the service industry, so it runs in the family. I'm a 3rd generation culinarian, if you will. Thanks, Mom. It is now 4:59 and we gotta go. So people are getting here, y'all gotta get out of here, I gotta get to work. See y'all later, thank y'all. It's 5 o'clock. Order in 1 tile, 1 curry, 1 pepper pot. Yes. Fire plantain chip escabeche ceviche. Yes.